Welcome. In this video we're going to be doing a chair vinyasa flow with a couple of postures, and those will be pyramid and triangle. So we'll just need our chair as a prop for this flow. And we will start by facing the seat of our chair. We want our feet to be slightly wider than hip width apart. We want a nice strong base. We want those toes to be nicely spread out and to have our weight evenly distributed on all four corners of the feet. Most of us have a tendency to either place our weight on the inside of the feet or the outside of the feet. I know for me, I tend to roll outward. So for me, I always have to be mindful to place my weight more so on the inside of my feet to make sure I'm evenly distributing my weight on all four corners of my feet. I'm going to draw that belly button in towards the low back. Roll those shoulders back and down, and our palms are facing forward. Let's take a deep inhale and audibly sigh. Let's take a moment, if we'd like, to set an intention for class. Something we want to draw more of into our heart center. That could be more peace, more love, more joy, more kindness, more balance, more gratitude. Something you feel like you're maybe lacking right now. And as we move through our practice, we'll envision drawing that into our heart center with every inhale. And then with our exhale, we'll imagine releasing what is no longer serving us. Inhale those arms up, eyes open. Exhale, bend those knees, hinge at the hips, come into a forward fold. From here, we're going to step back with the left foot into a nice warrior lunge. You want to make sure that right knee is over that right ankle to protect that knee joint. From here, we're going to straighten that right knee, come into our pyramid pose. So from here, we want to make sure those hips are square, being mindful of those hips. You want to place your hand on the low back to see if the hips are level. If they're not, that's okay. We can just widen our stance. And breathing here for a moment. If you feel like you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, just bend those elbows. And then bring that right foot back to meet the left in a stance that is wide, slightly wider than hip width apart, placing both palms on the seat of the chair, coming into a downward facing dog. Head is in between the upper arms, bringing that belly button inward and breathing here. Thinking about our intention. Inhaling, bringing that left foot forward into a warrior lunge. Lifting up out of our shoulder joints. Sometimes the tendency is to sink into them. We want to lift out of them. Straighten that left knee coming into our pyramid. Check in with our hips. Are they flat? If not, we just widen our stance a little bit. Breathing here. We want a little bit of a deeper stretch, coming down. Being mindful that both sets of toes are pointing towards the top of our mat, towards the seat of the chair. Bring that right foot forward to meet the left. Feet are slightly wider than hip width apart, a little bend in the knees. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinging at the hips, coming back into a chair. So with our chair pose, You can either have hands at heart center without the assistance of the chair, or you can have your hands just on the tips of the chair, on the seat of the chair, or you can have your hands on the back of the chair. Being mindful that our knees are over those ankles, we should be able to look down, see the tips of the toes, and wiggle them. Just the tips. And then coming up back into our mountain pose. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, warrior lunge. Straighten that right foot, that right leg, coming into our pyramid. Checking those hips are level. Widening the stance if we need to, deepening the stretch if we want to. Breathing. Bringing that right foot back to meet the left, widening our stance, wider than hip width apart, palms on the chair into our downward facing dog. Inhaling, bringing that left foot forward into that warrior lunge, lifting up out of those shoulder joints, straightening that front knee, widening the stance if we need to, square those hips. Exhaling, coming into the posture, either coming down farther towards the seat of the chair or staying upright, whatever is more comfortable. Bringing that right foot forward to meet the left, bringing those feet slightly wider than hip width apart, bending those knees, inhaling, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinging at the hips into that chair pose, keeping the hands at heart center, or bringing the fingertips to the chair seat or the back of the chair. Being mindful that those knees are over the ankles. Inhaling up to our mountain. Arms up to the sky. Exhaling, forward fold, bending at the knees a little bit. Inhale, bring that left foot back, lifting out of those shoulder joints, engaging that core, pulling in that belly button, straightening that right knee, squaring the hips, releasing into the pose. Bringing that right foot back to meet the left, coming into our downward facing dog. Breathing here, coming back to the intention we set for class. Bringing that left foot forward, coming into our warrior lunge. Straightening that left knee, coming into our pyramid, squaring those hips, widening our stance if we need to, and then releasing down into the posture. Bringing that right foot forward to meet the left. Bending those knees slightly. Inhaling, arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinging at the hips into that chair pose. Keeping hands at heart center or bringing them to the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. Breathing here. Inhaling, exhaling back up to our mountain pose. Inhaling, arms up to the sky. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, left foot back into our warrior lunge. Coming into our pyramid pose, squaring the hips, releasing into the posture. Now we're going to move into our triangle pose from here. So we're going to come back up, turn that left foot so the toes are facing the long side of your mat. Right hand is going to stay on the chair. We're going to release that left arm up. Lifting up out of that right shoulder, avoiding again the tendency to sink. Keeping a nice micro bend in the knees. Releasing that left arm down. Bringing that right foot back to meet the left. Coming into our downward facing dog, feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Now bringing that left foot forward into our warrior lunge, straightening that left knee, coming into our pyramid, turning, pivoting those right toes, face the long side of your mat, lifting up your right arm towards the sky, into triangle on the other side. Focusing on that intention, drawing it into our heart center, bringing that right arm down, coming back into a forward fold, bending those knees. Inhaling, arms up towards the sky. Exhaling, hands to heart center, coming into your chair pose. Keeping your hands here, placing them on the seat of the chair or on the back of the chair. Being mindful that those knees are over those ankles, drawing in the core. Taking a moment here to give gratitude to ourselves and our bodies for carrying us through the practice. Inhaling up. And exhaling, let's come and sit in our chairs. Let's just come to a comfortable seated position. You can cross your legs if that feels nice to you. If not, just come to a comfortable seated position. Let's gently close our eyes. Let's take a moment to reflect on how differently we feel now than when we started practice. Knowing that, like life, a yoga practice is a journey. And we always view our practice and our bodies with love and kindness. Trying to release thoughts of negativity or self-doubt with our exhales. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for joining me today on the mat. As always, it is a pleasure to lead you. I hope to see you back here sometime soon, but in the meantime, I wish you much peace, love, joy, and gratitude. Namaste.